Hello.
Yo. Yo. Let me see here.
Good. How are you doing? Good. You look pretty. You look like a ballerina. Makeup is pretty.
Thank you. Yeah. This is
I
like
just got a shower. So
dirty hair.
Yeah, right. Come here. Stop it.
But your hair, that's nice that you just got out of the shower, that your hair looks like that when you get out of the shower. Mine does not look
Well,
like that.
after brushing, but yeah. Stop it. Sorry, Harold's saying hello to everyone. All right, relax. He gets that way when he hears Mike. He's like, where's my
Oh,
Uncle Mike? Relax.
this is Mike. Everyone misses Mike.
True story. What do you have
too.
on, an Atari hat there? What's your hat, Michael?
A finer touch.
Oh, okay.
This is
Oh,
my,
it did. I could see the Atari symbol.
I don't know why.
It did. As soon as you said that, I saw that.
this is my former partner's business. Dave Park. The guy that passed away last year there.
Oh,
Dave. I was like up in the air about, I was thinking about doing just a kind of open topic and just seeing if anybody had anything on their minds or hearts, or anybody wanted to talk about anything. Because I didn't really have anything that like, I think probably because I was down for like 4 days. I got sick and just was in bed. Wasn't much brain thought, so nothing was coming across particular. And we're more than welcome to do that. If anybody has anything they want to share. The only reason I put that topic on that little like movie direction thing I put up there is because that's kind of what we've been talking about in this season, like in church a little bit, just, money and the value of it and worshiping money over anything else. But I thought it wasn't just about church. It was about kind of what's going on just everywhere you look. And everywhere you look, period. I mean, you got this stupid fashion crap going on. In sports, we got a ton of stuff going on. It's money driven, selfishness and idolization. The whole thing with Balenciaga and all the child pornography and pedophilia and all this stuff that like, it's crazy. People are like they almost wait to take a stance before it got so out of hand that like, if something happened, people were just canceling people without even finding out the facts. And that had a bad way to it too. People were getting their lives ruined. And now it's to the point where like, well, hold on. Is it gonna affect me financially if I make a statement? Which is even worse, in my opinion, because that's really idolizing money. That's why I wrote that topic, or that movie title, if you will. I thought that was a cool image I found. So I was like, oh, this fits kind of guy at the top of the mountain idolizing money falling from the sky. Like, what are we actually looking up and asking for? What are we actually looking to the universe for, our God, or who we talk to ourselves and like, I hope this works out. I wish this house works out, this car for my kids, whatever we say in our heads, our prayer, if you will. The question should be to yourself, is it tied up in money, financial? Is the answer tied up in financial? Meaning the things that we're praying for, wanting or begging for, are they wrapped in money? Meaning, does it take money to get them? And I would say majority of the time that answer would be yes. And I'm not saying that's in a negative connotation. I'm not saying it's negative to think about things that cost money. I'm just saying that's kind of where we're at, and why I wrote in the bottom, I said directed by society, starring government, celebrities, athletes, music by cash money, also starring friends, family, and coworkers. It was like, those are the supporting roles in this movie of idolizing money as the main character, like the main title, working title of this film. It's like everything we kind of, I'm looking for a new place to live. I mean, I don't really have a choice but to really consider the fact that money has everything to do with it where I live. People are outbidding each other. People are paying cash offers. People, the fact that what happened before is now affecting how you can apply for condos or even homes. It's like they want all this verification of your financial going back 2 years of tax returns, 3 months of pay stubs, down to deposit put down of $2,000 just to fill out the form to see if you're accepted or not. I mean, it's getting a little out of hand. It's because I get why they're doing it. Like in that situation, protect yourself because of what happened in the past. A lot of people do that. We go by the cycle of what's happened to us in the past, and that's how we live our future most of the time. But I want to go a deeper level and talk about like, okay, but why is that happening? Why do we allow us to go down that path? Why do we allow us to go down that fear path? And it really comes down to because we wrap these ideas around the power of money. It comes down to money. And that's pretty shitty. And like, the whole thing going on with this, I mean, it's spreading very wide. It's not just Balenciaga. It's going so thick and wide now that they're saying there's, they're not the only ones. There's massive amounts of these guys in this ring of pedophilia that are protecting each other. And all these people getting paid millions of dollars to support these brands are hesitating to speak out in a positive light. They got 33, 45, 60 million people following their every word, and they haven't said shit about it because they're waiting to see if it's going to affect their contract. What if Balenciaga comes out with a blanket statement that everybody accepts and we can push it off to the left and it's no problem now? I don't want to ruin my millions of dollars of contract. Instead of standing up and just like, I'm never going to be a part of anybody that has that surrounding them, period, true or not. Because if it's surrounding you, there's something to it. I'm not saying they're involved in it, but if it's surrounding you, and it's not the first time it's come up, it's not the first court situation that's come up, usually something's going on. And for nobody to stand up because because we're led by money is kind of a joke. We idolize this thing so much that it's becoming a freaking problem. And I'm always once like, oh, we could talk about the surface level negative stuff that's going on every day, like, oh, these guys and they're doing this. But I always want to get down to like the psychology of what pushes us there, what makes us act or not act. What is it about us that does not act right away on a moral standard if it might affect, say, our job? Why do we value something like we can speak in a room with our friends like, man, anything to do with abusing sexually, physically, anything a child, I'm 100% against. I would kill somebody if that were the case. If I found out if it happened in front of me, if it was my kid. We can stand so strong in a conversation or around a dinner table. And then if at work you found out your boss was accused of doing that, maybe to their child or somebody, that you wouldn't just walk out the door immediately and quit. Where is that gray area that we stop standing strong and balancing the financial effect it would have on us if we made a choice that goes with our moral standard or code? And I think that's where the real problem is. Forget these companies and athletes or celebrities, and I'm talking at the basis. Like, if we're in fear to make a decision based off what we believe in because we're worried that the money won't be there, that job that supports us that will be done and nothing will, because then we're just compromising our entire life. And then what? It turns into stuff like this. So I think it's such a vicious cycle And I always want to get down to the understanding of the psychology of why we allow it to happen, because it is just a human versus human. You know, it's like we put this pedestal, like, oh, I work there, it's my job. If I don't have a job, I can take support my rent and then my mortgage and my family. It's like, I know, but you're just working for another human. They're you too. On the other side of that, they have all that stuff going on too. But if they're doing something like that, like pure evil, I mean, it sounds bad, but if you stay on and work for that person that is guilty of that, and because you don't want to lose your mortgage payment, or how am I going to do this, you're as guilty, in my opinion, as they are. But where do we justify that? We don't ever have to justify that because it's not us. I'm only staying because it's my job. You know, I don't believe in that. So, man, it's a fine line, and it's coming up more and more, and it's being swept left and right more and more. This whole that whole stupid Epstein thing that happened, not stupid, but you know, that happened. Then he hung himself in jail, and it was like over. New stuff to the left. Let's move to the next thing that's important. What's coming up, the Super Bowl or the World Series or whatever's in the next plate, and it's got swept because he's dead. He killed himself. Nobody wants to investigate that he killed himself off a 2-inch pole. It's impossible to hang yourself from. Nobody wants to even ask the questions. Oh, it's over. And then his sidekick, who went missing for 8 months, then gets prosecuted. It never got put in one media source because they didn't allow it. The government didn't allow it because so many people in the government were involved, including the prince of another country, presidents from here. They didn't allow it to get to the news stations, and they closed courted it so it wouldn't get to any of us. Does anybody know what happened to Giselle? Do either of you guys? Do you know what happened to her? How many years she got? Did she get sentenced? Was she fined? Did anybody ever hear about it? No, because it was meant to be that way. You don't want to get somebody in trouble. It's deep into the organization of this wealth tree, which is our higher ups and our governments and our royalty princes in other countries. It's such a thick organization up there. If somebody gets pinned on something, it's like, yo, put them out on a boat and light that shit on fire and get them out of here as far as possible, but hide it from the public. And that's what happens. So, you know, we pretend like it doesn't matter. And it's like, oh, well, I didn't hear about it. Well, it's because you're being blind to it. It's because we're living a life of like compromising our constant values and standards that we have morally for ourselves constantly in trade for money. And to say it just like that, like, oh, I'm not going to, it sounds sick and it sounds like I don't do that, but just think about it. Think about it in real depth. Choices you make and the real power of money that relates to those choices, because I can say on a daily basis, I can say everybody on a daily basis has to make that decision. And a lot of times those decisions are shit. They're based off of nothing besides us wanting something that's tied to money, a look, a style, an article of clothing, like how bad is it now? Like I have to look at a brand I want and go, wait, I wonder if this CEO rapes kids. Like that's what I'm starting to think now, because so many things come out, the branding or the culture of a commercial comes out and this product comes out and you're like, dude, so cool. They're green. They give back to the earth. They donate 10% of every profitability. You're like, cool, man. And the product's sick. You buy it and you're like, you're fucking wearing it. And 3 months later, the CEO gets put in prison because he's a complete scumball. It's like, we're getting pigeonholed in the idea of things quickly too, everywhere we go. So yeah, go ahead, Amber, before you lose your thought.
No, just like, so, I mean, you just explained the insanity I felt for most of my life in that. So this is, and you and I have had this talk, 1,000 times, especially in the last, 5 or 6 years. You literally, the only thing that really actually represents you, me, you, anyone, is the dollar that we spend or earn. And so if I really don't want to participate in a world of evil, that means I cannot drive a car. I cannot, I have to grow my own food sourced from seeds from a seed bank that is thousands of years old. I can't really participate in any societal or, cultural type things. I mean, not that America has culture. But that's exactly it right there. I mean, the shoes that we're wearing, the clothes that we're wearing, anything we have on our body, the products that we use in the shower, every single thing would have to then be a compromise. That's why,
Totally.
the hippies and all of us, in the beginning stages, when I was like, actually thought I was taking a stand against something in my early adolescence, it was because of these exact conversations. And it's like, until you just said that just now, it's not that I forget and it's not that I check out, but it's almost impossible to live in the same society or do anything other than model a new avenue for change, which no one will ever see because you're not actually on the grid or social media or anywhere where you could model it for like an example. But it's enough to literally drive you insane on every single level, because how do you participate at all? And right. I mean, everything we're doing is evil and a compromise and probably a rapist and a pedophile and all of them made a deal together with the devil. And here we are. So holy shit.
So that's the next part of this. So without it being absolutely overwhelming of a thought of like, well, the threads of the couch I'm sitting on came from probably Sweat Factory and overworked kids in China, but I got a great deal on it and it's really cool in my house. Well, so there's a couple of things that come up in my mind, and I think it doesn't help the whole thing happening, the whole systematic thing we're talking about. But I think I never really like understood tithing in a church. Never understood it. I was like, this is a scam, like to get money in the bucket, pay these guys, like, I mean, for their sins. It's a guilt trip to pay off your sin for the week. And I always looked at that way because, most of the people I grew up with, I looked and I'm like, this person doesn't go to church. They're definitely not Catholic. They're showing up on Sunday because that's what you're supposed to do, to wipe it clean for the next week and throw some money in. And not everybody's like that. My mother taught me that that's not the case for a true Christian. And I understand the difference now, but I'm only using that as an example because the way they explain tithing is, it's not about the amount of money you give. It's about the discipline of giving it. It's about the discipline that you have to give something that wasn't yours in the first place back to have it do more good for others. That maybe we're in your position one day when you didn't have $5 in your pocket to give to anybody. You have $2. So church aside, that idea of tithing is like, look, I am blessed enough to have this job and be able to buy the things I want and have everything I want. How? And by the way, a lot of it is, who knows, the devil making it. The devil's in details. Everything I look around now, I'm like, oh, probably some scumbag CEO made a deal with the devil and, billionaire making off of us thinking this is sexy or a look or a culture. This hair, everything I do, the haircut, I got to pay for it because it's the symbolism of me and my status. So how do we not go fucking crazy? Going, well, would I just walk naked through the fucking woods and never talk to anybody and eat scraps from the ground and hunt again and kill? It's like, okay, it feels that extreme, but what can we do in the meantime when we're trying to change? What I think we're doing is change the next one. The information we tell our kids coming up now and having them a little more brilliant and awake of what's actually happening in front of their eyes. And for me, the answer is to try to give back as much as possible to anybody. I'm not even talking about church. I'm just talking about anybody. Can I do anything with my blessing to have got this far with what I have to help anybody in any situation without question? And I try to have that in my head to and that balances my guilt of, look, the place I'm sitting in. I mean, it's ridiculous, right? It's unnecessary ridiculousness of money. It's like, so, yeah, I think there's things we can do individually, like, look, let's balance out our life and be that good person. Like, yeah, am I sitting on the couch at probably 2 4-year-olds stitched together for no dollars a month? Yeah. But can I change that right now? No. So what do we do to balance out that? I think that's the key for us personally, but damn, as Amber said, it's like, man, the more and more we hear, the more and more we know, it's like, is anybody climbing to the status of change? You know, let's use a Vaynerchuk or Elon Musk or even Donald Trump becoming president first that wasn't in politician. Like, is anybody rising to the challenge to come to a level of fame where people are paying attention that don't get corrupted by that level of notoriety? And that to me is the key. How do we find people with a type A, cut your throat mentality? Because you need that to get all the way to the top. I've been around a lot of freaking famous and enormously rich people. And I would say 95+% of them have all the same mentality. They're cutthroat type A's. But what comes with that is when you get more money and power, that starts to creep into that like total psychology of like sociopath and narcissism and ego trip and I'm the God. And it becomes what got you there. Could have been this amazing tool. Everybody's following you. You can create an awesome change. Becomes, holy shit, we got one more person up there that's fucking sick and demented. And for me, I can see a lot of the ones when I watch TV and stuff, and I see these celebrities or these artists or whatever it is, I'm like, they fit in all the same categories as me. Like, they don't give a shit about nothing but flossing and flexing and showing off and being the number one this and that. It's them. But there's ones that you sneak through that are like, wow, this person, you know, Jay Shetty comes to mind. You know, it's like, wow, this guy is like number one health podcast in the world. He's always, it seems like he's always genuine. He's unbelievable, his wife and the amount of work they've put in their relationship. But man, I've seen guys like that before I thought were on that level. And something comes out and they're a scumbag. And it's like, what the, I can't even have those guys. We can't even have, and it worries me that, because then I'm like, I'm watching Jay Shetty, I'm like, God, please, I hope this guy's not a scumbag. You know, I'm like thinking in the back of my head, please, I hope this guy doesn't turn out to be freaking on the news tomorrow and he's, you know, shipping kids across in freaking suitcases. Like, but that's the fear because it's happening so often. And it's like, what do we, like, it's like Amber was saying, it's like, it can be overwhelming to think, well, what are we paying attention to? What are we investing our time in? You know, I really like this company. It makes me feel good. They make me feel good. I'm drinking these green drinks and I'm really behind it. You're telling your friends when you like something, you're a sales guy for them, saleswoman. You're telling people about it. When you're into something, take these, your gut health, like you get into something because you're sold on it, you start to tell, and that's the best brands in the world. And it's almost embarrassing when you get behind something and you're like, oh, fuck this. Geez,
What about that palm company that you told me about with the documentary? Dude. They own like all the free water in California or something, like he illegally.
Yep. They stole the water rights from California. And they even got caught diverting water pipes from north. They caught them diverting pipes, breaking off and re-pushing them to travel into their farms so they can water pomegranate trees and pistachio trees. So then when you see those unbelievable ads, they're like feel good and like they'll bring you back to earth, like bring palm juice and pistachios are the best for you. They were comparing it to like the Got Milk campaigns back in the day. There was no studies on milk was going to like save your life and it's cancer. They used the idea we grew up in the milkman bullshit and they pumped that ad. They even admitted to it. So the more people would drink fucking milk and the dairy farmers would go up. This guy did the same thing. He wrapped this unbelievable health benefit to palm juice and pistachios, and they're the best. And then jack the price to the roof. Most expensive two things you can buy in the grocery store per ounce. While he's in the background stealing drinking water from Californians and Arizonians that are in Arizona today. There's 1.3 million that can't get water come out of their pipe to wash their dishes. That people like us are going around in cars, bringing cases of bottled water and trying to allocate it to each family so they have enough to drink and wash their freaking dishes or take a shower. In California today, not in the history of this country, not 100 years ago, today, water is being diverted to sell products on our shelves that we don't need to eat, by the way. We don't need palm juice. Get a pomegranate tree, grow in your backyard and eat pomegranates. You don't need to squeeze in a heart-shaped bottle, which costs probably $7 a package. All because this guy's one of the richest guys in our world. And he's a savage, he's a scumbag. Because he made a deal, he's 100 years old, he made a deal years ago and stole the rights in a backdoor room with 3 other government officials that didn't care to steal all the water from the water banks. It's like, what are we doing? Who sits in a room and goes, I am so ambitious to make more money. He was already 100 millionaire, by the way. So ambitious to make more money. I'm gonna try to steal all this water. Water, the only thing that allows us to live on this earth. Not
Now
water.
talk about the real evils that, be, and again, we had this conversation before, but if you think about so the major, European countries and white countries, England, America, Spain, France, went and basically made every other part of the world their territory, one by one. And how they did that was they showed up with force and disease, and they diverted all of their water. Because when you take water away from any kind of civilization, they are immediately dependent on you.
Done.
So if you're actually
superpower.
evil fucker like the guy from Palm, that's like way beyond ambition. That's going, I'm going to study world takeovers. And if I take all the water from California, then basically I own California.
Yeah, totally.
I mean,
it's an amazing thought to think about, because really you could take any human on this planet, Elon Musk to Tom Brady to freaking Jay Shetty to the president of the United States, any high all the way up, right? And you can just cut off their water supply and there'd be nobody. That's how important just water is. Ounces of water.
Yeah.
You could take anything else from them and they'd still win because they're winners. Anything else. Take their house and their car and everything, put them in jail, they'd come out, they'd start another business and be successful again. People are like that. You take water from that same human, done. Goodbye. Wipe you off. Next. It's a big freaking deal. It's like, not to get too far off a tangent, but money, people idolize this money because money is directly related to power in all of our countries. They're hand in hand, and one doesn't happen without the other. So they're evilly connected to one another. So it's like, I have to get as much money as possible because money proves power. And if I have power, I can do like what Amber did. I can change situations. I can change areas. I can change communities. And it's a fucking sick thing, because we think about the organizations like again, Black Lives Matter. Started off to what I don't even care. I don't care what happened. I don't even care to talk about it. The idea of it was supposed to start off like, let's protect these families. Let's start driving a money campaign to protect the families that have been affected by this whole thing, right? This black and white race war, especially when it comes to police. And we find out now this chick running it is just a freaking multimillionaire now. She got houses everywhere, $1 million homes everywhere in every state. She's banking it. That money's not even going. She's got several, like 7 family members that are like CEO of security, getting 250 grand a year. Like she's pigeonholed this whole company of Black Lives Matter into like paying her whole family off. And she's pocketing everything. It's fucking sick. You know, and it's almost become to me that this country is, we're so allowant of everything that we're never going to stop anything. It's just, I don't want to. I have the right. It's my right to not to serve you. It's my right not to wait on you. It's my right. It's not just the color thing and the sexuality thing anymore. Those things we've heard out of hand, being a cat at school. It's gone to the point where it's like, I don't feel like waiting on you. And you're harassing me to make me wait on you. Like, you're my server. What are we doing? Are we having an argument? Like, you're right to not serve me as a server? That's what's happening. And it happens here all the time. I see it every day. It is hard to watch. It's hard to watch. You walk up to a counter and somebody like this in your face ignore you, and you have to engage them and say, can I order? It's like, yeah, hold on a second. Just let me finish this. And get annoyed at you for having to work at her job. And you'd think a manager might see it or come over. You might call your manager. They don't care either. It's like, don't talk to me like that. I have rights. And we've become so down that path. It's like, we don't say no to anything. So why do we think that it's going to stop? Why do we think that the CEO of the Girl Scout company, who, by the way, is 94 or some, or 89% all volunteers, including the cookie mix, the trucks, the delivery people, not the kids, everything operational is donated for free. And she's making it's like 700 grand a year. Like, we don't slap anybody's hand in this country. We allow everything. So nothing is off limits. So why do we think that the next one's not on its way up? The next crook-minded, I love this one. I'm just taking advantage of the system. The whole gray area, like the system allows for it. I'm just playing the game. It's like, that's a moral situation that you're having with yourself. You chose to go against your own conscience and morals, and you signed with the devil. That's not if there was an advantage to be taken in the system, you should be one raising your hand to help fix it. Because our best interest is making sure the system's not fucked up, so people can manipulate it and hurt us. But we're getting more and more to the point where we're going to allow everything. We're saying, I know it's bad. I know it looks bad, but you can't offend them either. Yeah, I know Balenciaga looks like they're raping kids and all the stuff points to it, but hold on. You can't just come at them like that. They got rights too. And then by the time you get that all happening, nothing happens. It's a sick, vicious cycle, and it is the idolization of money. It is the thing. It is all those characters I put in there: society, government, friends, family, coworkers. All those people are pressure around you to make you forget, or like Amber said, let my guard down sometimes. Because I do live like that, think like that, but sometimes my guard's let down because of just the environment. We're looking around and we're doing the thing. We're having a good time. Everybody's having a good time. I love my friends. I'm like, oh, fuck, shit, what? I'm caught up again. Because that's just what it is. Not everybody's having these conversations nor care to. And some people want to have that on the list. They want it right here at the tippy top. Like money, money, money. I want a better job. I want more money. I want this. I want that. I want this. It's all money. I need that much. And it's pointed right here like a peak. And when money drives us, happiness is assuringly not coming with it. Guarantee that. I am 100% here, has gone through it several times, that if this, that, and it's just not even, it's there's so little merit to it. It's a joke to think about that being said out loud. Because as we always talk about here, once you got it all in your head, which is the money tip, you still got nothing in your spirit, in your soul, in the grace in who you are, your moral standards, the growth in your human. All that still got left behind, got shredded because you're driving whatever it takes. Step on people, cut throats, cut people off, take somebody's job, try to get somebody fired so you can move in. All the things that got you there usually aren't in the best terms when you put money first. It's funny when I only felt comfortable when I forgot about it in my life. I never felt comfortable, even though when I made a bunch of money, I had a bunch of money. I didn't really have anything to spend it on. It didn't really matter. But I never got like comfortable in my own human skin until I left it all behind and had nothing to do. Because I was allowed to like search purpose and meaning and moral code. Who am I? Like what would I do and what wouldn't I do to get my next thing? So we got to just figure out how to look, we can't sell everything. And like I said, go naked in the woods in a tent and just be like, oh, money's not a thing. I'm just gonna start telling myself money doesn't exist, because it does. You can't call your landlord and be like, man, I'm on this new thing, man. Money don't exist. Sorry, man. I don't believe in it, dude. I want to pay you. I just don't believe in money, man. It's greed, it's power, it's the devil. So sorry, but I'm not going to pay you. I'm just going to stay here. I know I'm not ignorant to the fact that we can't shut off our lives currently, because we just can't. We live in a world that exists the way it exists today. But we do have a job to try to figure out how to get people more away from the useless idea of money. The useless spending of money, the because I got it, no problem, or I think there's just a useless idea of it. It can be overwhelming to think about that. And I started because of, I think what's going on right now is the challenge of people really sitting down going, I don't know what side I want to be on, because how does it benefit me? And that's always a money thing. And I think that part's pretty sad right now. This crypto thing that went ASAP, this kid raised and $20 billion, and he was a lying sack of shit. He never invested one penny of it. There was nothing. Got people like Tom Brady involved, Gisele Bundchen, Kim Kardashian, all these celebrities obviously got involved, a bunch of investors in the financial world. Kid in his 20s, and they found out nothing exists. $20 billion valuation. This kid's buying houses everywhere, cars flying all over, on Forbes magazine, the cover. And nobody investigates. Nobody's like, after all that's happened in this country, nobody's like, hey, let's throw this guy on one of the most prestigious financial papers, magazines in the world, Forbes, and not have anybody dig into the fact that, hey, let's just make sure he's legit. Let's look into the company. Let's look into the offerings. Where's the money going? Where's the value? Is this chain solidified? Is it none of it? People are just so ready to, wow, look at this guy doing the things because popular and cool, and he's rich, 20 years old, $20 billion. And guess what? If you haven't seen it, he's on TV now crying a river because he has $100,000 left in his bank account. He's broke. Ripped off $20 billion from people in a lie. And the news is putting him on constant fucking runs of poor me. On CNN, poor me. I only have $100,000 left in my bank account. I'm pretty much broke. I'm devastated. Oh, well, fuck. What can we do for you? Let's advertise you, get you back out there. So, what's going on with you guys? Hey, okay, cool.
You seem very, very into that. Very upset about that.
I'm fucking heated about it. But if you guys want to talk about anything else going on, I'd be happy to open up the conversation. I think I'm so amped up about it because I live where I live right now. And it's probably
Yeah.
probably a little similar in New York City, but like LA went through this whole shutdown the longest. They did the most extreme things. There is the most I look around, so most democratic left-winged left side in as you could possibly be here. Like even like hurrah to the presidency now, they're doing a great job. Like literally
No, come here.
raising her hand
Hey,
with a straight face and going, this is the best president we've ever had. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what in the fuck? I don't care what side you're on. I've voted both sides. I don't care. But how could you possibly say,
Yeah, you
this
can't
is
say
the
that.
this is the best we've seen? Unbelievable. And it's not, because there's a fucking agenda behind the scenes about what these guys get to donate to campaigns that they donate to. Bring these guys out on stage, these camp president-elects out on their stage at their concerts, at Jay-Z concerts, and bring them out, and Hillary's our next one. Like, promote them and give them hundreds of millions of dollars because there's an agenda for them, not because they think they're going to help our country. They're going to help that sector.
who's what's the boy? Who's Kim Kardashian's ex-husband there? What's his name?
Kanye.
Yeah, isn't he running for president?
Well, here's an interesting thing. So, he's always gone crazy several times in the media. But right now he's because Adidas dropped him, all these companies are suing him and drop him because of what he said about Jewish people.
Oh, I didn't see that.
And what he said was, I'm going to stop being run by the people that run this business, the Jews. And all he said was the facts, because even if you ask the Jews here, they'll tell you all the money that's run through Hollywood and everything, there's not a financial institution that's not all Jewish. And he was
Dad said that 7 Jews ran the world. That was in like 1984.
Right. So he came out and said this. Well, it was like, oh my God, he's anti-Semitic. Oh my God, this guy's. So Adidas closed his highest selling Adidas brand ever in Adidas. Ends their relationship with him over those comments, because everybody's so scared.
Does he care? How did he come back?
So what he's saying now is,
He's
because
articulate.
else coming out, Balenciaga, all these things, he goes, this is what I'm saying. I'm just been trying to say it. I'm not crazy. I'm just ahead of it. You guys aren't listening. These corporations, these big guys, these big companies, they don't care about anything. There's agenda, there's secretivity, there's these pedophilia groups, there's these Epstein shipping in girls for high-end people. That's happening throughout all these private parties, all this stuff.
Victoria's Secrets is absolutely gone from the East Coast. It's shut down overnight. So
it's just madness. It really is. It's a behind the doors party with a secret trap door. It's one of those. It's like that one level deep.
Well,
behind the doors and then behind the door.
It's so deep, right? Back to, the original point is that so many people that are involved, that our entire infrastructure would completely and totally collapse, because everything that we depend on, we think we know, and that runs us is involved in that party with the back door. Because what happened to the list and Tom Hanks and all the disappointing people that we thought would never be there because we think of them as upstanding citizens or good fathers or whatever the fuck we think of people. And so many people were on that list that it had to be burned because it would literally break down society, because it's Sodom and Gomorrah. It's the absolute worst possible scenario, and unless we choose our own path, it's just you can't even escape it. They have to deal with God or whatever it is that they're going to have to all deal with.
Aren't we doing that? we're doing that every day, and like
on small levels. Yes.
Sales is the perfect example. I'm in sales, and I do my sales the way I do them, and it's just not the way the book is written. But the book is written very simply and plain. It's a bribery system that we don't say is bribery because that's illegal. And that's all it is. That's sales 101. Read any book. To sell somebody, you don't sell them the product, you sell the emotion of the human and you bribe them. You make them feel a certain way. You make them manipulate the situation, make them feel a way about you, find out what they like, where they like to go, gift them stuff, tickets to this and things to that, and take you golfing. And they're bribes to start to move the direction of the human decision. And that's sales. Now, it doesn't have to be done that way, but we're a weak society. It worked in the system, and then became books are selling. Everybody's got a sales book. Like, here's how you sell, here's how you sell, here's how you sell. Well, the only sales book you ever need to read is psychology. And then learn psychology, learn the human brain, and then have the balls to not manipulate a human being with it. Because you'll have power when you know psychology. You'll have power over another human that doesn't know. And you can easily start to use that as a weapon. We've talked about that. But that's all it is. It's simple. But we don't do that. We're on a very small basis. We're bribing people every day to lean them into decisions what we want to hear. I want you to think my product's the best. I want you to think my massage is the best. My jewelry is the best. We're doing this every day. And, you know, intent is everything, right? We always talk about that. It's not malicious. It's not in a bad way. It's just who we are. We're selling ourselves in the things we are about. But we're manipulating and bribing another human into being on our page.
Well, and the bigger conversation with that manipulating and bribing, society is that if you don't fall in line and figure out what you want to sell in life, then you're losing as far as society is concerned, because everybody who doesn't conform is a fucking loser.
Exactly.
Okay. If you're homeless, the people that have actually quit life that are probably like top IT CEOs, parents, all kinds of amazing things that like literally were just like, I am not participating any longer. And so now, to the rest of society, they're sold as scum or worthless or lazy or whatever, when really it's the only way out.
Or nobody wants it. Or usually when they get that far, they don't care anymore, them personally, but everybody else,
not them personally, but I mean,
don't invite him to party. Don't invite him to this anymore.
Right.
He's not coming to the golf trip. It's this whole like,
right. They got to be a part of
it.
Right.
Yeah.
They got to support the culture. Otherwise you're not popular and you're not cool. And that's what the whole cancel culture is. And, they're ever from 9/11 through COVID, they have really just proven that we're basically socialists. They don't have to even ask us anything anymore. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They can make a complete and total mockery of what it is to be us as representatives of us. And well, it doesn't matter because we can't do anything about it. So stay in your homes, man down, put your masks on. We're taking your guns. We might limit fuel. We might limit water. Like, we're in charge, motherfuckers, even to the white people, or the first world people. And it's so far beyond. So
democracy's almost turned in this country is almost turned into a constant case study. Let's see how far we can raise gas and see what they do. Like, it's almost like on the computer screen. They're like, let's do that button. Let's see how they act. Oh, wow. They're kind of doing, they're listening. They're just staying at home. This is fucking crazy. That's kind of turning into democracy in this country, which is a little sad because it's not really best interest. It's more like, let's study how far we can push it. Right. So
all of our grandmothers right now, all of our grandmothers that are living right now are at home paying $250 a month for cable for like 3 channels that they watch their game shows. Yeah. And they have no idea what they're being gouged on all their other bills. And you know what they're worried about? They're worried that cheese and toilet paper or butter, there's going to be a butter shortage. Like they're like freaking out because they really think that that's going to affect their life. Like, if I can't get butter. Yeah. Okay. I mean, if that's even on the agenda, I mean, that's the smallest, most minute thing. So.
Yeah. Well, you can't cook without butter. It tastes like shit. On a side note, did everybody see that Willow's coming out, the movie?
Yeah.
Willow from childhood?
Yeah, I saw that. I don't know what that's about.
What do you
I
mean
feel
it's
like when I
about? It
was
was
a
the
kid, it
greatest,
freaked.
it was one of the
No, I
greatest
know,
movies
but
of our
like,
childhood
why are they
ever.
coming out with? Is it like a sequel? Like, what is the?
No, it's Willow the movie. It's the freaking, it's
It was a
Willow.
movie.
I know, it was
It
the
was a
best movie of
movie,
our
yeah.
childhood.
I never saw. I think it made me
Oh
feel
my
weird.
God,
I have
Willow
to
was
watch.
the best.
Do they have
No,
elephant ears?
we used to watch it too, but like, is the same movie coming out? Like, I just didn't understand.
Yeah, same character. I think they digitally re-enhanced the midget. I think he's still alive now.
I don't
The
think
short
so.
person.
Are you in your time out there? I mean, have you thought about it's too bad. Don't we have like a second cousin Rocky that used to be a producer there in Hollywood? He's at Disney now, right? Or something
Yeah, something like
in
that.
Florida.
Yeah.
Because really, I mean, you could totally be an actor. I mean, you have the face for it, the personality. No, I mean, wouldn't you just go to one audition for the fuck of it? Look at Brad Pitt. He has no talent, none.
I just can't get with the, I couldn't deal with everything to like do the exercise and do a movie role. I think that'd be fun, like to a movie with like people around, maybe a small film where like, we're all doing it. But like, I couldn't deal with the rest of it, like around it, like, cause I'm already in it and I've been on Hollywood studios and I've worked with architects there and I've been on the projects and stuff and like being that close to it. I'm just like, these people are fucked up in the head. Everybody, the fucking grounds crew, the fucking producers, everybody that's involved in this area.
It's like Oz.
Is part of this, like, we're creating the entertainment in the world's vision for like, they think the artistry here is like the world's connection to, I don't know. Like
Not culture.
movies, and that's how we live. If there was no movies, what the fuck would the rest of the country do? We got to make these movies. It's like, okay. I just couldn't fuck with it, man. I'm having a hard enough time screwing with the people that are here. So
why are you
like
looking over your back? Why do you go?
in case somebody
They're so
freaking pops in,
concerned.
dude. Like,
Are you okay?
no, Illuminati.
You need to leave LA. You're already changing in a weird way. I don't like it.
I'm becoming Jim Carrey.
The fact that you said
Balenciaga.
Balenciaga. With the fact that you said that like 4 times already tonight, now 5, that is just the truth. The the like facts that you're living in LA because nobody else gives a fuck in the rest of the world. Nobody even knows what Balenciaga is.
Well, but that's what I mean. Again, the fact that you guys don't know what's going on.
I mean, obviously I know what it is.
No, but it's troubling that you guys don't know what's going on with it because they put 2 ad campaigns out with 2 little toddlers in bondage with pedophilia stuff. Like, it was fucking sick. And now they're like, they're like apologized. And
why did they do it?
Because they're fucking sickos. Everybody pushes the limits of what they're allowed to get away with.
Kate Moss started that shit. Yeah, it is what it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that whole thing's happening.
Justin Bieber's signed last year with them, and within days of that happening, they put his next campaign up, and it was him in like a priest-looking outfit that they did with a chain. He looked like a priest. I'm like, yo, what the fuck is up with these people? They're going through a pedophilia case right now, getting sued. People are freaking out, and then 4 days later, their next campaign, they put him on the cover and he's in a priest outfit. Like, dude, that's sick. Like, that's some like, yo, who's in control? Who's in control of the release of information for that company? And the answer is the sociopath that lives on top of the mountain. He's like, fuck it, man. Nobody can touch us. And that's sick. That's
that's the thing. You have enough money and no one can touch you.
Yeah, because they get slapped. Who's gonna come at them? Who's gonna come after them?
They don't even get slapped. Who's gonna slap them?
Nobody. You don't get fines in that business. You don't get like federal fines. You just, people stop buying your share or they don't.
Nobody's gonna stop buying it. It's just gonna be, people are talking about it.
Well, if you look it up, I'll tell you what, if you look it up, you wouldn't have bought it.
Look it up.
Have you ever seen their clothes? You wouldn't buy it in the first place. It's fucking ridiculous.
Well, no, it's insanity, but still.
It's so ugly. Okay, well, I'm done ranting for the night. Yeah, that's it.
Yep, that's it.
Whitney, where do you morally stand on life? I mean,
Gotta feel you.
Yeah. No, are you joking? I would kill somebody, literally with my bare hands. What do you mean? Like in what?
well, I don't know. Like, I feel like, so I know Jay struggles with this and stuff. And like a lot of people, like, you have a family business. You didn't necessarily choose it as a, like, you know, maybe like when you were a little girl, I don't know if did you want to sell jewelry? Did your dad already sell jewelry when you were a kid, or?
No, it's kind of something new that he didn't start his business till 99. So
You didn't grow up seeing that and thinking like, oh,
no.
I want to sell pretty things, like, or whatnot. So then did you just start that like after a divorce, or was it more just like convenience and like wanting to be with your dad, or?
No, it was just convenience. So, well, it was really, how I really got into it is my parents gave me a car when I was 16, and then to drive my sister around, more for their convenience than to, for me to have a car. And so I could take my sister wherever she needed to go, I could take myself wherever I needed to go. And then my dad told me, well, you need to be able to afford this car. So he sat me down, and I actually like fixed jewelry for a couple of years. That's how I first got into it.
Piecework. So you were child labor first.
I was at 16,
kind of,
yep.
but
I
mean, that's a good way to learn what things are worth, because piece labor, and you make so much less than what you sell it for and things like that. I was just thinking like, yeah, did you like want that as a career? Like, I didn't know anything really about like the ethical harvesting of diamonds or anything like that until like blood diamond came out. Like, I didn't really know anything about it. I just thought it was another beautiful thing that the earth created through pressure and da da da. I didn't know that this whole thing was going on around the world. And now they have all the alternative ways to get the same sparkle and chemical, whatever, all the things. So I didn't know if you had like a stance on it or not. God knows I've sold things I didn't necessarily believe in or not. But if you had any kind of like, even like pre-existing thoughts before then, you're like, well, I'm like providing for my family, and it's our family business. So it's not a question of, belief or whatnot. I mean, do you have any thoughts on that?
I think any company, so a lot of the companies that we deal with are all like ethical, and that's their first, when that whole blood diamond thing came out, I mean, that was the first thing that these companies would do. They jumped right out and they said, well, we don't do that. We don't support that. We don't, we're clean. We're, this is where our diamonds are sourced from. This is the mine. This is how they'd send you pictures. They would, but of course they could send
you. So it's again, though, I didn't realize, I didn't even know that much. That's why I asked, because so you guys can, like with food, you can source something and say, this is where we get our things from. It's ethical, the people involved in it and whatnot. That's cool. I didn't know that.
And some people cared and some people didn't.
Yeah, honestly, of course. And some people pretended to care.
Right. Or they cared for, when their wife was in the shop with them, they would care, but then they wouldn't care otherwise. And, other companies like fell off. And so, I mean, obviously you don't want anybody to get hurt, and but business is still going to run. And so you're given the information. You only have the information that somebody tells you about their business too. So whether that's wrong or right or whatever, whatever they're telling you.
Yeah. And there's, like I said, and like I said to Mike, I mean, we cannot literally escape it. Every single thing we have on us, including where our butts are sitting, and everything we're using and looking at is probably from, sourced from some crazy place other than maybe the cucumbers I got at the farmer's market, or whatever. So it's definitely we're all, you know, always compromising. And so back to your question, Michael, and just to kind of pull it around full circle, is that we just do what we can do. I think that's what mom would say, is what can we do? And so it's the tiny things that we choose.
Totally. But we could be, I think the only end point was we could be not overly stressed or anxiety driven by like, oh my God, what are all these things? But next time we're buying, or next time we go shopping, or next time we're looking into brands, or next time we're excited about something. I mean, we got these super powered computers in our hands that you can talk to and say, hey, Siri, pull up some information about this company. It takes 2 fucking seconds, and we don't do it. That's all I'm saying. I think we can start there is what I'm saying. Like, I'm really into this brand right now. You know what? I'm going to take fucking 2 seconds before I drop $200 and see if anything comes up. Past legal stuff, like who's the owner? And you know what? Maybe some of that stuff will be bullshit on Wikipedia, but we can only do what we can do. Just like Wendy can give me a diamond and tell me it's, sourced from a great ethical mind, but maybe she got forged documents from the person and she's not involved in duping me. So somebody's duping her. There's depth to things, but we could take a couple seconds just to find out what we know. So we're not in the trap.
And I do that mostly more with things that I either eat or put on my body or use on a client's body, only because that's all I can control. But how good does it feel though when you know that your money is actually going to a small company, even something stupid like, I don't know, the peanut butter whiskey or something. It's like, it's a tiny organic farm in Oregon. It's like a real family. If that is
or just
true,
amazing marketing, they don't live there at all.
Yeah, no, totally right.
Maybe nobody lives in Oregon and it's all part of the marketing brand. Like, dude, sell a wholesome family from Oregon. That's the thing right now. It's super fucking chill. They're peanut butter farmers from Oregon. They've never done anything else. How amazing.
Oh my God.
I see it.
Peanut butter.
I was just going to say, how great would it feel to know that any money that we do spend would be supporting something that is ethically sourced.
Totally. Listen, it always feels better to hand, when you see an owner on their way up, hand them the money and be like,
yes,
that's cool.
Thank you.
Because that feels right and it feels good. And actually, I think it only feels the most good because humans were built off of supporting community. You do that trade, I do this trade. We all live in the same village. You are the wheat maker. You are the diamond maker. You are the sword sharpener. You are and we.
Wait a second. Wait. You're the sword sharpener. She's the diamond maker and I'm the weed grower, or what did you say?
Wheat.
Oh,
not weed.
But since you were thinking weed, you could probably grow weed.
I was just making sure.
Now that it's legal in our community.
But but it does feel good. And so that's what we'll do more of for our little part. Thanks for bringing me back to just, buy
her jewelry. Look at it. She's representing her now. She's look at her marketing now, trying to manipulate her with her wrist.
Exactly.
But, hey, buy at Whitney's. Buy at Whitney's.
These stones have all healing powers. And
yeah. I'm sorry, but the second I met you, you brought me right back to my childhood, like having 10,000 bracelets on, and I really wanted to covet them all and take them from you and have them.
Hey.
So I love
them.
I love them. Yeah, we sell them.
We sell them.
No, I'd rather just have them.
All of these, actually, one of them.
I love you guys.
All right, I love you guys.
All right,
love you too.
I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Bye.